Good morning, everyone. This is the Doctor. It is 11:52 a.m. here in the Pacific Northwest. And I just got done laying down outside and hearing the birds chirp while the dogs played. I was having a good time, and it's beautiful out. We are going to be doing the last of the Espers that we have yet to cover, and most of these are going to be the Espers that are at the bottom of the tier list. So there is going to be some interesting things here, but don't expect them to be perfect and amazing. I do think they all still have their niche uses, and we'll be going over what some of those are as we go through the video. So first of all, we're going to be covering Bomb, and Bomb has the lowest HP and the lowest AP out of all of the Espers that are available. He does have Dex 8 and Attack 9, which is reasonable, and he also has Agility 14. He does have a 15% weakness to water, but again, that weakness isn't going to be holding you back, really. There's no real water meta units right now. And he does have a 5% resistance to ice, so that might help you out against the Medinas you're going to be facing. He does have some excellent abilities, though, as you can see here. He's going to be someone you're going to want to put on a spear user if you're using any of the spear users out there. If not, he is a general ice, or sorry, not ice element. He's a general attack element Esper. So he does get a whopping attack plus 20%. He also gets a human killer plus 15%. So overall, that's going to be over a 35% damage modifier to attacks, because you have to remember that human killer is based off your total attack. So it is actually building on top of that attack plus 20% modifier that you would get from the bomb in the first place. So the first thing I would do if you were going to be using bomb is I would probably max out human killer and then get the attack, or get some mix of both of those. If you are lucky enough to have a spear user on your team, you do get to add that extra 10% stab modifier, which is going to be on the right side of the equation. So similar to human killer, it's going to modify all of your attack. It's not just going to modify a straight addition to your attack value. He does have some other little things about him. He gets water resistance and fire resistance. Again, not the biggest thing going on with him right now. He does get critical evasion, which we're not fully in a critical meta right now, so I'm not sure that's going to be useful. And of course, he gets TP up, which if you need TP up, if you need Ice Attribute Killer, you should all be one-shotting those Medinas anyway. But maybe there will be a meta for him when Agrius comes around, because supposedly Agrius is going to be an Ice Elemental unit. Now our next unit, I've seen many people using. This is Zoo. Some callouts for Zoo. We're going to have low magic, moderate agility, moderate luck, a little bit on the lower end attack, and AP, TP, and HP are all going to be low. I think the important thing to note here is that the agility is okay, because you should always be factoring in your agility when you put them with your units. Now, Zoo is going to give a 15% weakness to ice, so you are going to take more damage from the Medinas. But you are going to get a 5% resistance to the soil, so those stone throws out there are going to deal a little bit less damage to you. Zoo does have an interesting ability spread. You can tell that Zoo is designed towards a hand-to-hand or a fist weapon comp. So you can see Zoo gets hit attack up 10%. Zoo also gets an attack plus 20%, so again, another offensive Esper here. You can build up your ice resistance by 8% to mitigate that damage that Medina would do with that 15% weakness you initially have. You also have an opportunity to get 15% soil killer or earth killer. I'm not sure why the soil killer and the earth attribute killer are named different things here. It could just be a translation error. Something for you guys to note. Zoo is also going to give you TP up, but I think what you're really going to be focusing on is that attack up and probably that hand-to-hand or fist weapon attack up. And just as a kind of a note, there is other Espers out there that are better for hand-to-hand units. And I would just, before you invest in Zoo and put them on your hand-to-hand unit, I would make sure that you are making sure you have the right Esper, because Zoo is kind of like the lower tier of the Espers that you could use, right? Because we're on the bottom tier right now. So yes, Zoo is viable and has good stats and is moderately useful, but Zoo is not going to be the optimal setup if you have another Esper that has hand-to-hand damage up on it. Now we're going to get to the Ackermann, you guys, and the Ackermann is 9th in agility and 9th in attack. So, I mean, again, agility and attack is not too bad on it. Dex is 8th. Overall, the rest of the Ackermann stats are pretty low. Has a weakness, 15% to fire, not going to affect you much in this meta. 5% resistance to wind, not going to affect you much either way, I think. I think you'll be fine depending on how you cut it. Now, the Ackermann is interesting because I've heard a lot of ideas for the Ackermann, and I think most of them fall in line with what I believe you should probably be using Ackermann for. I've been hearing Ackermann is best for healers. I've been hearing Ackermann is best for Fina. I've been hearing Ackermann is best for anyone who has shooting attack. And I think what it comes down to is Ackermann is not good for characters with shooting attack. It only offers a shooting attack up 7%, I believe. And you do get puncture resistance, which is a little nice. You get bird killer plus 7%. You get paralysis resistance. And you get a whopping magic up 20%. You also get TP up 20%. Now, when I'm thinking about Ackermann, I'm thinking hybrid units. Specifically hybrid units that are casting spells and using shooting attacks. So I would not use this on my Ryu, right? Because my Ryu is a gunner, and yes, he does have shooting attack, but he might benefit more from the attack up on another Esper. Where I might use this is on a unit like Fina, right? You have the shooting up, you have the magic power up, you have the TP up. It's all of these kind of stat mixtures that line up really well with her. And so it's possible Ackermann would be the best unit for Fina. Would Ackermann be the best unit for a healer? I actually think no. I think you're probably better off putting a survivability Esper like Golem on your healer instead of putting Ackermann. And the only two units I can think of Ackermann right off the top of my head is, of course, Fina that we talked about. But I think Liarte might be a good choice for Ackermann as well. And I think just like in my mind, those are the two characters I think of right now. When I think of Ackermann, I think Ackermann is a niche Esper, and I think you should probably only be using Ackermann if you have those two characters. Now, we are getting to our final Esper here, Golem, and I will admit, I have Golem set on my stern right now, and even just doing this review, I got a little concerned in my life choices on setting him on stern. So let's go over his stats. He's 14th in agility. That's all he's got, you guys. His stats are mediocre. Like, we're talking low end of the low end. He's 21st in magic. You shouldn't be using him for magic. 16th in AP. Pretty much 18th in everything else. So I would stay away. Where he does benefit, though, is he does have some really good abilities for your attackers. So he does get slash plus 10%. He gets attack plus 17%. He does get TP plus 20%. Critical evade, earth resistance, and water killer. Now, of course, looking at these stats, it doesn't seem too bad, right? It's some pretty good abilities, and if you think that you have an entire slashing meta team comp, then yeah, he's probably worth it, right? So like right now, I use Sir O, I use Mont, I use, holy cow, I can't remember his name. Stern, there we go. I have all these slash attackers on my main team. So it would actually benefit me to use Golem on my Esper formation. Although I did just get Ifrit, so I think Golem's going to be peacing out here really quickly. But I do think there is a space for Golem, especially if you're a melee-heavy slash focused build. You just have to make sure that the stats of the unit you're putting him on is going to be able to carry sort of his mediocre stats, but can like benefit greatly from the slash plus 10% and attack plus 17%. So that would be units like Stern or other slashing units that are reasonably protected. So that would be like Monto, or that would be, gosh, something like Sir Rob or Sir O. Even though Sir Rob and Sir O would probably benefit more from Behemoth with the agility plus, I think that it wouldn't be the worst decision ever to put Golem on them. But you really have to be aware of the mediocre stats and really think about what your end game is with your Espers. All right, you guys. Well, we did it. we have successfully reviewed every single Esper in the global version so far. Going from here on out, I'll probably do single Esper review videos when they're coming on their way out, and leave this as like the foundational knowledge on my channel for everyone to read. So shout out to everyone for making it through all of these videos and having a better understanding of all of the Espers. I personally know I have a better understanding of the Espers now, and I appreciate everyone helping out in the comments section and addressing any mistakes I might have made, or alternate builds that they might have found valuable, or translation errors from Ultima and Game 8 that maybe didn't make it through all the way in my video. Make sure you leave a comment, you guys. It's been great hearing from you. Make sure you stop by my Discord. We are working really hard at growing the Discord community, and we're actually setting up our first bot literally as I'm making this video, so that is super cool, you guys. Anyway, thanks so much. Talk to you guys later, and holy shit, I just dropped the mouse. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.